Why, hello there. I was just wearing my state-mandated mask as recommended by the CDC because I listen to my governing bodies, and you should too. It does make it impossible to drink though. All jokes aside, I get asked a lot, why and how did you become a minimalist as a teenager? And that's honestly something that I don't have one exact answer to. It's more or less a coagulation. Hold on. Coagulation. Alright. It's more or less a coagulation of a bunch of reasons. Reason number 1. Cleaning has become way easier. Before, when my life was crowded with stuff, it was almost impossible to clean anything. It took hours upon hours to get all of my stuff organized, and even when I was done, it still kind of looked like trash because there was still, trash everywhere. Having less stuff makes it way easier to clean. For me nowadays, once I get all of my clothes and my school stuff out of the way, there's almost nothing left to clean. Plus, it gets your parents off your back when they're saying clean your room a lot because there's nothing to clean and it doesn't get as dirty. Numero 2. It sorts my mind out. We've all been there. We've come home from an absolutely exhausting day and we just want to be done. But our room is full of junk and there's no way that you can possibly get a clear mind with all this. We've all been there. We come home from a long day and we're ready to just be done and have some time to ourselves, and our room is absolutely full of junk. It looks as messy as your brain does, and it's frankly distracting, and it's almost impossible to get anything like schoolwork done. When I clear my stuff out, I find it a lot easier to think because you're way less distracted by all the stuff that you have lying around. We've all been there. Trying to clean our rooms or something, or just do anything in general, and we get distracted by all the stuff that we find. I have found that with owning less stuff, a clear space makes a clearer mind. Number 3, it saves you greens. Not only is it better for you, it can also save you a lot of money in the long run. I use something that I call the 48-hour rule. When I see something that I like and I think that I want it, I give myself 48 hours, and at the end of that time period, if I still want it, then it's something that I'll actively go out and get. Now, it's really easy to fall into this trap, and I find that a lot of people do it, where they get on this whole Marie Kondo, just everything's gone sort of rule, and while they are getting rid of stuff, they buy more stuff to replace it. So their house looks great for a while, and it looks all empty and simplistic, and then they bring in more stuff, and that's also not very eco-friendly. So the trick is to once you get everything pared down and cleaned out, to keep it that way. If you really want something, give yourself those 48 hours to think about it, and at the end of those 48 hours, if you think it is something you truly need and will bring value to your life, then totally, go buy it. Now, it's easy for me to stand here and say 48 hours, it's so easy, but I'm not impervious either. I'm sure a bunch of you out there are too, but I am a proud member of the club of terrible midnight Amazon purchases. Mostly, the trick has just been to disable one click to buy, to give yourself those extra few clicks and information entering to really think about if that's something you want, but sometimes you just really need a tiny Uno. The true part of it is self-discipline. You really need to curb those urges to buy objects that you just don't need. It takes a lot of self-discipline and practice, and you're not gonna get it right the first time, which is fine. It's all about working through it and making sure that you're not bringing in more stuff than you're putting out and keeping. Which leads me to number 3.5, a brilliant segue if I do admit so myself. It's more sustainable. I dropped a dime on the floor. My shelf is a mess. Being a minimalist is so insanely good for the planet. When you're not bringing in so much junk, you're also not supporting the purchases of that kind of junk. And it really kind of helps. What is with the color changing? It goes from like yellow to like pale yellow, green. Is that just my thumb? It's still yellow, I can guarantee you. It is literally snowing in April. I love Chicago, man. Not only is having less stuff better for your mindset and your wallet, it's also way better for the environment. The less trash that you end up buying, the less you're supporting those companies that make those mostly plastic items. The more you can purchase things that you do need secondhand and curb those impulse purchases of plastic stuff that you don't, the better you're doing for the environment. It's kind of a simple equation almost. Buy less stuff, own less stuff, better for environment. The less stuff that you bring into your home, the more the environment will thank you. And number 4, take your 4 cards and eat it, buddy. Come on, +4. This is less of a reason why I did it and more of it's just an added benefit, but it is honestly aesthetic. I know a lot of people you see online are all about, I love minimalism because of all the aesthetics of it, and if that's what makes you happy, that's totally fine. But at the end of the day, you've got to think about your true reasons when decluttering. Because it's honestly easy to get past those first few stages and to just get rid of stuff and you're done and you have some stuff but not a lot and it's aesthetic. But if you want to go further, like I and many others do, if you want to really become a minimalist for the sake of only owning things that make you happy, that's a bit harder of a step to take. Yes, it's aesthetic, and I know that it looks so good on your Instagram feed, but you have to really think about why you're doing it. Aesthetics should be an added bonus, not your purpose. Speaking of added bonuses, here are 4 things that I have found that come free with the adoption of the habit of minimalism. Think there's intruders in your room? Drop that baseball bat, because not to worry, there is nothing hiding in your corners because you don't own enough to put there. Do you need to run away? Easy, pack all 4 of your items in your one knapsack and you are ready to go. Did your house catch on fire? I wouldn't worry too much about it. You don't have enough stuff to really have to replace much of anything. And number 4, did you lose something? Well, not for long, because it's probably sitting on one of those various open spaces that you have. All jokes aside, let's look a little bit about why I got into minimalism. Now, it's a bit of a weird story, because you'd think it would be one of those things where just one day I saw it on Pinterest and I was like, that's a great idea, I'm gonna do it. The first time I actually saw minimalism, I probably thought what a lot of people did. Well, that seems stupid. I like my junk, and who's gonna tell me to get rid of it? Now, I didn't get as early of a start as some people, because that was like 11 or 12 when I thought it was stupid, but I actually began to start paring down on stuff because I was going to be switching bedrooms. And it's one of those things that I would actually recommend doing it if like you live in a situation where that's something you can do. Like you could switch with the guest bedroom, where you can switch with the guest bedroom if you can, like as a summer project or something. It really helped me to kind of take a look at all of my stuff and really realize, why do I have a 5-foot tall stack of stuff leaning against my wall? Like, don't get me wrong, it was organized, but it was like Mount Everest of stuff. It was, when I say 4-foot-ish tall, that's not even an exaggeration. I wish I had some pictures or something. But it really helped me to get a look at some of the stuff and think, is this something that I want to bring with me? Because I was actually starting to look into like owning less and feeling less stressed out because of it. So I was able to kind of look at it, and there was stupid stuff. I remember I had like a Barnes & Noble, which is a bookstore. I had a bag from there that I had cut holes in because I was using it for something else, but I kept the bag. Like, I have no clue why I kept the bag, but I had like just that bag laying around. I had clay that was like hardened because I had made it into something, but like it got hardened and it wouldn't go back. There was so much dust. There was enough dust to make at least 3 bunnies, and that's probably 4. I had a lot of markers and most of them were dead, but I was keeping them because I thought I could use them for something. I'm not positive what. But it was borderline a problem. So I started getting rid of stuff when I was moving it over, and I was actually really able to take a good look at it. Now, around this time, this is a shameless plug, but I was moving into my room new room, and I started finding that there was YouTube channels dedicated to this thing that I was doing called decluttering. And I found this really cool one that I actually really liked. Shameless plug here, but her name was the Mini Minimalist, and I saw one of her videos and I was like, oh my god, she owns like 4 items. And for some reason, the more that I thought about it, the more that I realized, like, how beneficial, like, is that actually? Like, I realized that owning less, like, imagine how much you could think there, imagine the, like, less stress, imagine how easy cleaning would be, and I started to, like, delve into it more. Like, after I saw her videos, I was like, is this actually a thing? Is this, like, what am I doing? Is this decluttering? And I realized that it was actually something called minimalism, and I was like, the hypocrite is I, because I thought that was so stupid for so many years. But the more I brought down, the more I found that cleaning out my clutter kind of cleaned out my life, and it made me more happy. And that is just, it's really cool that something as simple as getting rid of stuff improved my mindset almost so much. So I was able to move into this new room. As you can clearly see, I brought a lot less with me. I am standing in a corner right now. There's no furniture here or anything. It's wide open. But I was able to really take a look at my life, and I was able to start, as I got rid of stuff, I was also able to clean out other things in my life, like relationships, emotional stuff. It was honestly kind of nice, because now I would argue to say, the happiest that I've ever been. And, well, it's probably not all due to this fad that I once thought was stupid. Minimalism definitely played a part. It wasn't about how much junk I could get rid of. It was about how much stuff I needed to own to make me happy. And for me, that's not a lot. Everyone has different thresholds. For me, I like owning not a lot of stuff, but I love my tiny items. Tiny Uno, tiny shopping carts, just small things in general. They make me happy, and there's no shame in that. I keep stuff that I enjoy, and that's honestly what minimalism is all about, at least to me. And if it can make me as happy as it has, then I encourage that you do it too. You might find that it has an effect on your life that you have never thought of before. Anyway, here are my socks of the day. They are Kool-Aid Man themed. And I would say go do something that you enjoy. It doesn't have to be decluttering, and it doesn't have to be anything that you think you need to do. Just something fun that makes you happy. That's it. I don't know what else to tell you. Go declutter something. You might enjoy it, and have a great day. Bye!